Awesome. So without any further ado, let's look at the today's topic. We are gonna today's topic is how to analyze event feedback with the help of Monday.com. Let me go to my Monday screen. Okay, so this is just a template which I have picked up, which is event feedback. I was just building this form just for this demo before our webinar. So let me just rename this. So basically, this is my feedback form. Okay. Okay. Let me just. Okay, so this is how my form looks. So assume that you have some procedure or you have some use case where you want to take some feedback or responses from your end user, and then you want to analyze the data. So this is the perfect example. Again, I have taken just a template event feedback form, but it can be anything, right? But I've just taken this example so that I can give you some tips. So this is my event feedback form. Those who know how to use Monday.com form, the way you use it, there are two ways recently. So one way is assume that there is a board. This is one of the project board from my earlier webinar. So let's say you can build the board first, and you can have these columns, right? And then you can add a form view, because for Monday.com, if you are using Monday.com for a while, you know that form is just another view to look at the board. So once I add a form, once I add a form, basically all those columns, basically they get converted into the form style. And then of course you can go into the edit form and hide some of your questions. Okay, so that's the form. But for so of course, so when you add a board, then of course definitely you just have main table, and then all these view you're gonna add, right? So Monday.com also added this new feature where you can add a form right from here. So if you want to analyze, right, result and all these because now you are more stressing on the form than the board. So then I suggest you to go this way, where, and that's what I did before this webinar. I just went here and I added form, and then again, just like a board, the new form is created. But then now so now you see, whenever you add a board, is just a main table right? And then, but now when you add a form, it's like form is already here, then there is a main table, form is your default. So it's like automatically. So I always tell my clients that if you know that you want to create a form, then definitely you go from here and add that, so that you can have the benefits of these already created views, because these views are added here by because they want to analyze the form. So taking into consideration that this is the form and we will need this, so that's why Monday.com added this form artifact. Before this was not there, but now you can directly add a form, and then so that you'll have all these views already added on the form. So that's how I added this added this board. So added this new form, and then definitely, because if I go to main table, so of course there's only item and status, and then you can edit your form, meaning you want to, because now you will be editing the form to add the question. And that's what I did, because I knew if you know what questions you are going to add, so all you're doing is just edit, go on editing. So just in front of you, I edited the name. So that's how then you can add these questions, right? what is your email. If you want to add some ratings, you can also add. So how you add, okay, let me just show you how to build that form. Okay, so consider this you are building a new form, then you go into the edit, right? Then you can give some name, you can also upload the logo here, and now here starts your questions. So this is the status questions. You can also go into the customize and add some welcome screen, and into your monday.com settings. You want to, let's say if you want to, because by default the name question is hidden here, name meaning item name. So include the board's first column also in the form. It's not necessary, because if it is not there, so form will get submitted like, so let's say if I'm submitting the form. Okay, so now if I go to main table, so basically because you don't have the name, item name, right? So then the responses will be incoming form answers. So what I did in my event feedback, I wanted that for the what is your name should be my item name. So just refresh this. So that's why I went and edited that question. So for example, now if I add my name, how would you rate the location? Lock the location. And I submitted. So then, so you see now my name is my item name, but in this case, the form will be anonymous because I don't have that field over there. So depends on the use case, what you want to do, but definitely this status can be one of the questions. So you can edit that, and that's how I built. So you can also add a rating question right from here. You don't even have to go to the board, by the way. So let's say, assume that you have this question. Then first thing you're doing is you're going here and sync questions and the column titles, so that if even if you change something here, it will be changed on the board also, right? So that is there. And then let's say if you want to add some more questions, so you can do that right from here. For example, email, right? So I can just type here email, then rating, also recently monday.com introduced the question setting. So let's say if you want to hide this question, or if you want to make it required, meaning the mandatory question, you saw as soon as I enabled required, the asterisk mark came here, meaning without filling that question, answering that question, you cannot submit the form. Also, if you want to hide, now it's telling me that very good user interface, because as soon as I made it required, now it's telling me you can't hide a required question. Super. So now I can, but I can definitely hide it if it's not required. So also, let's say if you want to add some short text or long text questions, you can do that right from here. And then once I refreshed it, you can see the form right here. Okay, and once you share this link with everyone, they can just copy paste that link in their browser here, just the way I did this for event feedback, and you can submit your form. Okay, so this is how I created my event feedback form. Now going back to my event feedback form. So now you saw because I added the form from here, blank form, and then I edited it. But by doing that, what I've have is, first of all, I have questions. It's a better way of adding the questions right from the form, right? And also the beauty of this is they already have this result analysis done here. So now you can see I have two questions submitted, and then of course you can add any widgets here. But it is helpful because definitely you already have this widget added here, and if you want to add more, then of course you can add here. But and also, so this is the result widget. Basically it's just a dashboard widget and some dashboard. You see you have a dashboard view, right, over here. So it's just that, and then they've added some widgets, but it's already saved. You don't have to do anything as long as there is data in the board. So let me just add another one. Okay, you didn't like it. Okay. So as long as I have data in my board, so right now let me just delete this test entry. So now I have two entries here, right? But in my result, then automatically, I didn't have to, earlier it was showing me one and now it's showing me two. So like this, I have like, I have my analysis already done here, right? Also, then I have this form response viewer, meaning, and this is something new which Monday.com introduced, where you can see everybody's response. So this was the first response. It also shows you 1 out of 2. And then all you have to do is just scroll. So instead of looking at the horizontal entries like this, let's say if you want to see the actual form responses, then you can also have a look here. Because sometimes it's better if we have the vertical look. It looks also nice, like in the presentation or somewhere. If you want to just show them what was the feedback, you can use this a little bit colorful. Also, you can use this as a PDF. Let's say there is a requirement that you want to save all your forms for, it's always good to have the digital copies of the form which they have submitted, right? So then you can save this one by one, of course. So that is also good. And because Monday.com did this because all other form platforms like short form, they had this, and then Monday.com didn't have it. So Monday.com took as usual, they took the feedback into consideration, because now it's like complete package, right? Clients don't have to use another form platform because they didn't have this, right? So Monday.com introduced this. So exactly, which that is what we can do in other form platform also. So very nice. Then we also have, this is the submission viewer. Again, the same thing, but different UI. And also you can export it to the Word. So two things. First of all, this everything comes readily available. You don't have to do anything. Just add the form, edit it, and all these views are already here. Also in the results, you can add some more widgets also. So let me just refresh this. So in the results section, now it's showing you how many responses are submitted, but you can also do some analysis where basically you are looking at how many are like, rating. So this is the location, right? This is a location question. So now basically we are analyzing. The form are already here. The forms are, let's say there are 100 responses submitted, right? And now let me just duplicate. Okay. Change. Okay, so I have some more responses. Okay, so now I have my raw data here, and now if you see the result, it's showing me 5 responses, but then it's also showing me this location analysis, that if people are liking our analysis, or if people are liking our location, and of course this can be any question, right? But then you can analyze what did people vote, right? And then another widget for maybe rating. So going into the settings and just adjusting my x-axis. So instead of this, I want to see how many, what were the rates, right? So oops. So I'm going into the result. So basically it shows me that how many people gave 4 rating, and how many people gave me 1 rating. So you see these are the ratings. Let me just add one more. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, let me just get rid of 1, 1, 2, just to show you all how. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then there are 4, 5. So basically there are 2 5s, and now you see, just to understand how our chart is come. So now, yeah, so this is the basically one person gave only 1 rating here. So this is your x-axis is your rating, right? So then you can see here 1, 2, 3, there's 4 missing. This is just to show you all, but in reality, okay, yeah. So because we took x-axis is our rating, right? And the exact rating is 1. Either they can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And now you can see. So now you see I have 5 rating, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I have these ratings submitted by one person, and then I have 2, 5. Okay, so I can do analysis depending on these. So all you have to do is there is in the result, there is already one chart added, which is form submission, how many are responses, and over there you can add the widgets according to your data, what you want to see according to your parameter. So here I wanted to see what was my rating, like how many people really loved, overall satisfaction, right? Love the event. And then if there are more questions, right? Something like something about, so if there is a speaker, right? So then there can be a speaker rating too, right? So let me see again if I can add the rating for speaker. Okay, so so the event rating, overall satisfaction, and this was speaker rating. So let's say I have this data. Okay. So this is my speaker rating. And now all I have to do is just add that widget for that speaker rating, because I would like to, and this is just one time activity, right? Whenever you will set the form, you will go into the result. Already there is this one widget. So you just add on another few widgets. Also, once you've added the widget, you can also just duplicate it, because all you have to do is just change the parameter. So now instead of, so I'm going into my x-axis. How would you rate overalls? Now, instead of that question, I'm just taking my speaker rating. And so beautifully, now I can also rename this This is my speaker rating. Overall event rating. Can also rename. So now I have, so they really, looks like they really loved the speaker, because there are 5 4s. So depending on, if you have more questions, then depending on that, you can just duplicate your widget and go on changing the x-axis and then your data. So even if now, so now once I have said this, I don't have to worry about, so this is one time activity when you do it at the beginning of the, when you have the form ready, before you can do this before even the responses come, right, once for all. And then of course, if I have more responses, data will smoothly flow into it anyways. Because I added that last question, I need to show that. And now as soon as you have the um, form active, the data will keep coming, and then it will go on analyzing this data. So this is the, so yeah, so this was very helpful because Monday introduced this recently, add a form and then all the widgets which are related to form. So this basic structure is same, of course it's a board, but since it's a form, there are some widgets related to form, so that's the best move. Definitely it was required from by many clients, and many clients are happy about it. So definitely I thought it could be a good use case for today's webinar.